Do you have a basement that's freezing cold in the winter but don't want to break the bank to heat it up? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can heat your basement up using these 3 products right here for less than $100. So let's get started. So currently I'm in my basement right now and I need to locate my ductwork. In order to do that, I need to pop these ceiling tiles up to find it. So when it comes to finding your HVAC work, one easy way to find it is go to where your air handler is and follow the ductwork. So I know that I need to go that way because that's where I want to add the vents and that's where the duct is. So now I'm back on the other side of where my HVAC unit is. That trunk line runs directly right here. So I'm going to pop this tile right here so I can take a quick look. So as you can see, we got the ceiling tile out and we got the trunk line right here. So I know that I need to put my vent right here. So in order to do this project, you're going to need 3 different things. The first thing is this 8-inch in diameter takeoff line. This is what's actually going to go into the trunk line itself. The next thing you're going to need is this 8-inch round diffuser. What this is essentially a valve to open or close to either allow airflow or stop airflow, and it is also essentially a damper as well, so that you can control how much air is flowing into the room. The nice thing with these dampers or diffusers is that you can only have them slightly open if you only want a little bit of heat or air running into your basement, or if you want a lot, you could have them fully open. Now, another thing to remember here is that you are taking air away from your current system, so you need to make sure that your HVAC system can actually handle this. When it comes to calculations, I'm not an HVAC tech. I do not know the exact calculations to do or what you need to do exactly. However, you do need to figure out how many CFMs your fan blows and how many vents you currently have to see if you're able to add vents on. The last thing you'll need is this diffuser cover. I'll make sure to link all these products down in the description below so that you can purchase this stuff and do it to your home. On one side note as well, they make different sizes of these diffusers. They make a 6-inch, an 8-inch, a 10-inch, and I think a 12-inch even. Lowe's and Home Depot do carry the 6, 8, and I believe even a 10-inch one. And all that is increasing your airflow and heat or air conditioning coming out of the vent, the bigger size you go. So this room right here is roughly 400 square feet. And according to what I found online, one of those 8-inch vents is good for about 200 square foot of coverage. So I'm gonna install 2 of them. So it'll be 400 square feet of coverage and it should be good. So let's install the products. So the first thing you wanna do is mark center on your ceiling tile or whatever you're going into. So I mark center on the tile and I'm gonna punch a hole in it. All right, so I punched a hole through both the tile and the vent, so I know exactly where I need to cut out for the tile and the vent to have them line up. Once the hole's punched, you can pop your tile out, which is kind of a pain with where this vent is. So I got the vent out and I realized that this does not go all the way to the wall. I thought it did, but it doesn't. So what I need to do is I need to shift this over and make my cut. When doing this, just line up your 8-inch round pipe and draw out a circle using a Sharpie. Then take your knife and get to cutting. Now, if you do have a tin ductwork, you're gonna need some tin snips for this. I just have a foam insulated ductwork, so I don't need tin snips. All right, so we got our cutout right now. Also, I forgot, before I get too crazy right now, this basement temperature is currently 59 degrees in here with 27% humidity. So I'm gonna let this run throughout the day and we'll see how much warmer the basement gets throughout the day. Now we're gonna take our pipe and it has these metal tabs that you bend in, so you're gonna slide it in. And once you're there, start bending all your metal tabs in. All right, so all those metal tabs are bent in a little bit. Now, I did that so that I know that it's gonna be nice and firm in there, and now I need to measure the edge with the ceiling so that I can make my cut there. All right, so now that we got our hole, we're gonna take a level right now and line it up and mark right at the very top where we need to cut. And you don't need to use a level for this. This could be any flat surface that can go from edge to edge of the tile. All right, so you know where you need to cut, so pull all your fins back now. I'm just gonna connect all my lines together, which is easier to say than do. Now I'm gonna take my tin snips and cut. All right, so I got it all cut. Now the fun part here is trying to line this all up. So I punched my hole here and then I made my circle like this. So I'm gonna take this, put it right here, And you do have a little bit of leeway, so don't freak out if you mess up. So I got a rough drawing of my hole. The diffuser is gonna go like that. And then you also gotta remember you'll have your cover, which will cover up any imperfections that you make. So we're gonna take our knife again and cut. All right, ceiling tile does make a mess too, so have a tarp down and a vacuum ready. All right, so now we're gonna take our 8-inch ductwork and slap it back up in there. And we're gonna re-clamp it down. And all you need to do to clamp it down is you're just pushing those metal fins down and they compress it up and against the trunk line. Now that that's done, I like to take some foil tape and just wrap the edges so that it's nice and sealed up. Take roughly 6-inch pieces and wrap each side until it's fully wrapped. Now that the foil tape's up and around, it's nice, sealed and secured, we're gonna slap the ceiling tile back in, which sadly, that's gonna be difficult. All right, so we got our ceiling tile in. That wasn't as hard as I thought it could have been. So now we have our diffuser we need to put in, which all you need to do for this is slide it up in there and turn it to make it fit. So the damper's in. I'll crack this open right here. So when doing this, you want to make sure that you drill into the right screw holes. These little tiny small holes that could barely fit a screw, that is for the vent cover, so do not screw into those. If you want to actually screw into the ceiling tile or drywall or whatever, use the bigger holes, and then it has 3 holes internally to screw into the ductwork. So right now I'm going to screw into the ceiling tile. Now this obviously isn't really structural or anything like that, but it just helps make everything flush. So that's all screwed in. Now I'm gonna screw in to the ductwork. And I'm just using self-tapping metal screws for this. So that's all nice and secure right now. Lastly, we gotta put on the cover. Take your cover and line them up with the smaller holes. And before you tighten them all down, it's easier to do what I'm doing to line them up with the holes. So the cover's on. You have this nice diffuser tab to stick in there to adjust. You can also break it away just like that. So that then you can then stick it in there and have it a little higher up so that you can turn it and shut it. Now, if this is annoying sticking down like this, you can just pop them out like that and hide it somewhere. I don't mind it sticking out, so I'm just gonna leave it just like so. And I'm gonna leave it all the way open. I definitely got airflow flowing out of it right now. It flows it nice and out over the ceiling and not directly down on top of someone if they're standing right here. So let's pop that ceiling tile back in and move on to the next one. One down, one more to go. This is where the second one's going, and I'm gonna add it. Boom, second one's there. Took me a little bit longer to add this one. I had slight difficulties getting it lined up with the ceiling tile, but I made it work. So right now in my basement, I got one vent here and one vent here. Again, you can open and close them. Right now I have them fully open and the heat just kicked on, so it's running right now. Currently right now, it's reading 61 degrees in the basement, so I'm gonna let it run the whole day and we'll check back on it tonight and see what it's reading at. I also do wanna say that my basement is not insulated. It is just a concrete block wall with a brick facade in front of it, and then the other half is just drywall. So I have no insulation. However, my basement's about half underground, half above ground. So the ground helps insulate it a little bit, but the other half is just block and brick, so it lets a lot of cold in. All right guys, so it's about 6-7 hours later since the heat's been running and these vents have been going down here. With that being said, the current temperature down here is 64 degrees Fahrenheit and 35% humidity indoors, which when I first started this, the downstairs temperature was 59 degrees indoors and a 27% humidity. So both the temperature and humidity have increased in here, which is awesome. That was the goals of these vents right here, was to increase the heat down here. Personally, I definitely feel a difference. Me and my wife actually left the house for about 4 hours. We just got back and we entered through our basement. And immediately when we walked into the door, we could feel that it was definitely warmer in here compared to normal. Some of you guys also may be saying, oh, well, maybe it just warmed up during the day. that could definitely be the case. However, I feel like a 5-degree difference, it definitely has something to do with this heat running. Another question you guys may have is it affecting my upstairs heat? And currently right now, it's not. I don't have a way to test the current airflow upstairs to see how much it went down. I just kind of put my hand to it, and maybe there's a little bit less airflow coming out of some of the vents upstairs. However, the system's still running perfectly fine and it's not struggling in any way. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little bit, such as I did through this whole project. If you want to get more heat in your basement, this is a simple and effective way to get more heat down there. Or if for whatever reason you like your basement freezing cold in the summertime, do the same thing. And the nice thing is, if you want to shut the vents, a couple turns and they're closed. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave any comments down below with any questions, comments, or concerns that you have, or anything I could have done better. Also, like I stated before, I am not an HVAC tech, or have never have been. So any HVAC professionals, please leave a comment and let me know what I could have done better, or if there's something I could have done different. Again, thanks for watching this video, guys. Your support means so much to me. Please let me know what other projects you'd like me to do in the future. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.